Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you tonight for a premiere video. This is actually going to premiere on January 19th, and I think this is premiering at midnight, if I believe so. If not, I'll premiere it at 1 a.m. or something like that. I'll just have to wait and see when I get done with the video, of course. So, this is for another Bush album review, and I know Sleep Token just dropped a new song and I will be reviewing that in due time. Probably after this video. So this is gonna be for Bush's, I believe, sixth or seventh studio album called Man on the Run. I think it's sixth studio album if I remember correctly. Um, yeah, Man on the Run. I'm gonna be reviewing their 2014 album. So I'm gonna discuss what I listened to for all 14 songs, which includes the deluxe edition, and let you know my thoughts on each track that I listened to by Bush's new album, not new album, their 2014 album, Man on the Run. Sorry, I shouldn't have messed up with what I said, so please forgive me on that. So let's dive right into this album review. Sorry for the lengthy intro, just had to explain what the review is that I'm reviewing. So basically, it starts with the first song, Just Like My Other Sins, and off the bat, it's decent. Not something I'm crazy for, in my opinion, but I'll give it a 4 out of 5 for this one. I didn't hate it instrumentally. It's just, there were tad bit moments where I felt a little uninterested with this song because of Gavin Rossdale singing in it, and it has some cringe moments in my opinion, so 4 out of 5. Man on the Run's a decent song. Not the worst track I've heard, but it's one of the weaker ones as well, so 4 out of 5. I'm not really pleased with it too much, but the opening two tracks are the weakest in my opinion, and then it slightly gets better. So, The Only Way Out is the next song, and that's a pretty strong track. I like Gavin Rossdale singing in it. In this one, he's putting a lot more effort into using his vocal cords and trying his best to make it sound perfect with the track. So the track did pretty well instrumentally too. So 5 out of 5 for this one. This was probably one of my favorites off this album. The Gift is a solid track. Most of the other tracks I gave solid ratings. They're not terrible. They're just hit or miss for me in some areas, but still the tracks are good in their own way. The Gift I'll give a 4.5 out of 5 only because it tends to drag out a bit, but it does well in its own way. It feels like it drags, but it just, in a way, I think the song production, mixing, and execution did pretty well with the instrumentation and Gavin Rossdale singing. This House is on Fire is a solid track in my opinion. Another track that I think is good in its own way, but has some weak moments when you get to like the verses, and then when you hit the chorus, it starts shining a bit. So yeah, it's alright, but it's not my favorite song in my opinion, but it's good in its own way. So 4.5 out of 5. Loneliness is a Killer does tend to drag on for a bit, but it does execute alright. So 4.5 out of 5 for that one. Bodies in Motion is decent in my opinion. I'm not really feeling for how Gavin Rossdale's singing the track in some areas in the song, mostly pertaining the verses is what I'm trying to explain about, because the verses feel very slow in my opinion with how he's singing it, and also it takes a has some cringe moments in my opinion. So please forgive my yawning in this video. I do have to go to bed at a certain time, so I want to get this done and get the Sleep Token track review done and then go to bed after that. So, yeah. 4 out of 5 for Bodies in Motion. The next track is Broken in Paradise, and that was a good track in its own way. It's not the worst song, I just have slight issues with the track, but not major issues. I think the track did alright in its own way, but does fall short with some, I guess you could say lyrically, it falls a bit short, but it's alright in its own way, so 4.5 out of 5. Surrender actually was a pretty good song. I was really feeling for the melody, and I was really impressed with this track, with how Gavin Rossdale was singing it. So 5 out of 5. This is another favorite song I liked from this album, so pretty good job on this Surrender song. Dangerous Love is a solid track in my opinion. Not really sure if I'm connecting with the verses, but when the chorus comes in, that's where it starts doing well execution wise. So 4.5 out of 5. The verses are slightly weak, but eh, that's what you get with Bush some of the time. You get some slow verses and then you get some good choruses most of the time. Eye of the Storm is another solid track. It did feel very, I wouldn't say rushed, but it felt very draggish, in my opinion. Very draggish. Because of the way the melody's going about itself and how it's playing out the track. It just felt a bit lazy in my opinion, but still a good track in its own way. But that's just my critiques on it, of course. You don't have to agree with me, it's just how I felt when I listened to the track. So 4.5 out of 5. It is the closing track for the regular edition, but the deluxe did alright in its own way as well. So next song is Let Yourself Go. Let Yourself Go on the deluxe edition of Man on the Run, and that is a solid track in its own way. I think there are some mixing problems in some of the track, but I think it does alright for what it goes for. So 4.5 out of 5. Gavin Rossdale singing in it is pretty strong, in my opinion. Speeding Through the Bright Lights, it's solid too. It does get repetitive when he's saying speeding so much close to the end of the song, and it just, I don't know. I don't know if that works for me, the repetitiveness with certain lyrics from that track. But anyways, the track did good in its own way. Just had some repetitive lyrics from time to time. So 4.5 out of 5. And finally, The Golden Age is a strong track to end the album, but the ending kind of was unnecessary to close the track, but I guess it was fine in some way. So 4.5 out of 5. So overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I think Bush Man on the Run album was an average listen. Not the worst album I've heard. It's not bad in its own way. It has good moments, and then it has some slight weak moments, and some draggish melodies and some choruses. Uh, it's mostly the verses for some of their songs. Excuse my yawning. Verses for some of their songs that tend to feel very slow, in my opinion. But I think in its own way, this album is average. It's almost good, but it's average. So for a score for me, in my opinion, I'm giving Man on the Run by Bush a 7.5 out of 10. Average listen. Definitely check it out to see what you think of it for yourself. It's not the worst album, it's just alright, I guess. So, it's below good, but, in my opinion, it's close to decent, but it's in the middle between that. Decent and good. So, yeah, 7.5 out of 10 for Man on the Run, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, at least. You don't have to agree with me on it. If you didn't like this video, let me know in the comment section below what you didn't like about the video and what your critiques are on what I thought of this album, of course. So, if you did like this video, thank you so much for at least watching and enjoying it. So, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the Bush album, Man on the Run, their 6th studio album, for this marathon studio album reviews video that I've been doing since, I think I started like maybe a week ago with Bush's discography. It was most likely a week ago or something like that. I can't remember, honestly. I tend to forget sometimes. So hopefully you've been enjoying the Bush Marathon studio album reviews I've been doing on my channel. But if you did enjoy this album review for Man on the Run by Bush, comment below and let me know what you guys thought of this Bush Man on the Run album review if you enjoyed it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can. Support the channel. I will be returning to you for Sleep Token's new song, and they did announce something, but I can't spoil it yet. But I will be reviewing Sleep Token's new song, Granite, or Granite, or however you pronounce it. I'm not sure. I think it's Granite. Uh, if I'm saying it right. I'm not sure. Just let me know in the comment section below, but that's the next video that's coming out very soon. Probably before this video, but still, stay safe. Take care, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Bush Man on the Run album review. The next Bush Marathon Studio album review will be recorded tomorrow night, and we'll have a premiere on the 20th of January, so stay tuned for that. And I've had to push back the Kingdom album review all the way to Sunday, the 22nd, so definitely tune into that. And as always, I will see you in my next review. Thanks for watching.